Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Rob Jones, a Native American screenwriter, comic writer, and creator. Rob, how did you discover your passion for writing?
For me, started in my teens, I guess, just like a love for movies and, really overactive creative, brain. And I just, was thinking in images and ideas. And one day I was like, I felt like screenwriting, directing, that was like, that's what I wanted. Like, I don't know, like 15 or 16, it just like kind of clicked with me. Like, that's what I wanted to do one day. And, took a long time to really, figure it all out. But yeah, I mean, that's why I always wanted to do that. I was just like 15 or 16. I kind of just knew, I don't know why, I don't know, can't fully explain it, but it felt like just for my creativity, the way my brain works, that like was like it for me.
What's the main difference between screenwriting and comic writing?
Comic writing, you could write like, you're supposed to write like really on the nose dialogue. And it's very simple stuff compared to like, all the supposed screenwriting rules and restrictions, and like how tight it has to be. And then at first, I did screenwriting for so many years. And then I, hooked up with some indie comic creators. And, once I got a feel for it, it just feels like so much easier. And it's so much more simple. Like you could speak what the character's on his mind. You don't have to have like super deep dialogue. It's more of a action format. I mean, there's certain different expectations where it's about the art as much as anything. So I mean, you need a good story, but it's not as super deep and complex, with acts and act breaks, and everything you have to worry about in screenwriting. So I mean, it's different. Might not be for everyone, but for me, it just felt like a little, I guess, easy. I don't want to say easier, but I mean, it's just like less of the silly rules, that you have in screenwriting, which I mean, I've loved and I'm used to by now. But yeah, it's it's just a little different from that aspect. You could just speak what's the characters on their mind, or simple dialogue. I mean, you don't need super complicated, interactions, a lot of action and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'd say the big difference is like the type of dialogue, and you don't need like a bunch of super deep characters. I mean, you're focusing on a hero mostly in his story. So in screenwriting, you need like a best friend. It's all kinds of deep stuff that comic writing you wouldn't need until you're getting like chapters and many issues down. I mean, once you have like a whole bunch of issues out and stuff, I mean, it could get more complex. But I mean, just a simple comic issue or a few issues, it's like a lot less complex, writing wise, dialogue specifically.
What was the project that you enjoyed working on the most?
Right now, it's just the comics. I'm going to have a few different comics in the works. My favorite one right now is Mafia Monsterland Tales. It's just like two of my favorite things. It's a kind of mix of, the old Godfather movies and then the old monster movies. So I have this really talented artist who loves both. So he's came up with these, I have a few on my Instagram page. He came up with these cool designs for, Frankenstein and Mummy and all this. And I have like, I could just play with, both of those things, the old gangster movies and the old monster movies. I could just write something funny and cool that I think everyone's going to identify with in some way. So that's my big thing right now. I'm just, it takes a while for the art to get done, but yeah, I'm really excited about that.
What are the biggest challenges that you encountered?
Toughest part is the business part. I mean, just trying to get out there, trying to sell your stuff, trying to get in producers' hands. I mean, but from the writing aspect, I mean, I'm good at dialogue. I'm not as good at scene, like laying out a scene or painting like flowery novel pictures of a scene. So I do a lot of collaboration. So I look for people who are stronger at some things that I'm not. So I mean, screenwriting, the difficult part. I mean, the whole thing's hard to me. The writing is very technical and restrictive, and you might be good at some aspects and not others. And then the business side, obviously, it could be really hard and tough. And then for comic writing, I mean, or comics, well, you got to find the right, artists, and then kind of get your brand out there. So it's really, I mean, both fields are really flooded in a way, and the business side's tough. So I mean, it's tough all around. I mean, it's tough to be a writer or an artist, any days, So it's like whatever, it could be any type of challenge, just getting your name out there or getting the right audience for comics specifically. So yeah, I mean, there's similar challenges. There's like any like starving artist or writer or artist. I think you kind of know, the challenges that are out there, and they're the same for everyone, but everyone has different strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, I mean, it could be anything for anyone else.
What advice would you give to those who are just starting?
For me, the thing that helped me the most was starting to get into a routine or schedule. You're writing something every day, even if it's not, it's not your greatest thing, or it's not what you wanted to focus on. I mean, just set a routine habit to write every day. I would watch whatever you're doing. Write if you want to write novels or comics or screenplays. Watch movies or read novels, read comics. From the similar genres, all the good people. That's what helped me a lot too. For screenwriting, reading screenplays. From specifically good ones. I mean, I read a lot of amateur ones too. To help people, so that helps too. But you just got to really immerse yourself in it, and figure out what you're good at. Figure out, I always say the basic rules, and how the industry goes, and then what you're good at, and just try to practice on everything. And actually, for me, for writing in general, like personal writing, I kind of found my voice after I just was free writing about my own embarrassing things about myself that I wouldn't want any people to know, traumas or whatever. I mean, I think you should I think more of women do that, or diaries and stuff like that. But if you could tackle, write about your just things you're scared of or whatever, I mean, that might help free you in a way to open up your creativity, because it's tough if you're just staring at a blank screen or a blank page. What are you going to write? So I mean, that's why you just got to kind of get a routine, and it's like a muscle. You just got to try to strengthen it every day, somehow. So you got to kind of find what works for you. You might have family and stuff, so it's just finding the time might be really hard for some people. I don't have kids and I'm single, so it's it's a bit different challenge than someone who might be trying to do this after their career or with a family. So I mean, it's tough for everyone, but the main things is you got to do it every day, and then you got to kind of study what's good.
Persistence is key.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you.
It was very insightful.
Thank you.